I have never let anyone stay the morning. Not because I don't want them to, because I can't afford what happens if I do. My name is Mara, and there is something wrong with me that I have no word for. It started when I was 19. The first time I let someone get close, truly close, he woke with a fever that lasted 3 weeks. The doctors found nothing. He recovered. I told myself it was coincidence. The second time, the man didn't recover quite as easily. He said he felt hollow afterward, like something had been taken from him that he couldn't name. He stopped painting. He stopped laughing. He was fine, technically, but he wasn't himself. Not anymore. After the third time, I stopped letting people in. I became very good at beautiful distances. I learned how to look at someone across a room and make them feel wanted without ever being close enough to be dangerous. I learned how to leave before anything real could happen. I became an expert in almost. For 7 years, I lived like that. Almost connected, almost touched, always careful. And then I met Daniel. He was the kind of man who didn't accept polite refusals. Not in a threatening way, in the infuriating way of someone who simply doesn't believe you mean it. He would sit close. He would hold eye contact for too long. He would find reasons to be in the same room. I told him I was complicated. He said he liked puzzles. I told him I had a history of hurting people. He said everyone did. I told him, as plainly as I could manage, that getting close to me was a bad idea. He looked at me for a long moment and said, "I've been told that before. It was never true." I nearly loved him just for that. I kept him at arm's length for 6 weeks. 6 weeks of almost, of conversations that lasted too long, of the particular tension of two people who both know something is inevitable and are pretending otherwise. Then, one evening, he simply took my hand. Not dramatically, not in any great declaration. He just reached across the table and held my hand and looked at me and waited. And nothing happened. I sat there holding my breath, waiting for the thing inside me to stir, waiting for the pull, for the hollow feeling I always sensed before, the sense that I was drawing something out of a person, something they needed. It didn't come. I didn't understand it. I still don't entirely. He stayed that night, and the next morning he woke up entirely himself, more himself, if anything. He said he'd slept better than he had in years. I've spent a long time trying to understand what was different about him, whether it was him or me, or whether something had simply changed, whether I was cured or whether he was immune, or whether I'd simply been wrong about all of it. But here is the thing I keep coming back to. The men who walked away hollowed, they were all men who had given me something they were afraid to lose. Some piece of their best self offered too quickly, held too loosely. Daniel never gave me anything. He simply stayed, present, unhurried, unafraid. Maybe that's the difference. Maybe what I was always drawing out of people was the part they were already trying to give away. Or maybe he's just different. I still don't let my guard down entirely. I still wake some mornings convinced that today will be the day I see it in his eyes. That careful blankness, that loss. It hasn't come yet. I'm starting to think it might not.